Hey, welcome back to another lesson. In today's lesson, we have another yellow verb lesson. And in today's lesson, we will take a look at the verb ver, which means to see in Spanish. As always, if you want to make a copy of this table, then make sure to pause the video right here and press resume once you're ready. Alright, so in today's lesson, the verb ver, which means to see in Spanish. So let's start with the first conjugation. Alright, so I see in Spanish is yo veo.
Yo veo. Yo veo.
So for example, I see the boat is
Yo, el barco. Yo veo el barco. Yo veo el barco.
I see the boat. Alright, then the second conjugation is you see.
Tú ves. Tú ves.
You see. So yo veo and tú ves. So you see opportunities.
Tú, oportunidades. Tú ves oportunidades. Tú ves oportunidades.
Alright, then the next conjugation is he, she, or you formal. So he, she sees, or you formal see.
Él, ella, usted ve. Él, ella, usted ve.
So we can add this to our list. So yo veo, tú ves, and él, ella, usted ve. So we get rid of the S at tú ves. So we are left with ve. So as an example, he sees the potential.
Él, el potencial.
Of course, this becomes
Él ve el potencial. Él ve el potencial.
he sees the potential. Or if you want to say she sees the potential, of course, this becomes
Ella ve el potencial. Ella ve el potencial.
or if we want to turn it into a question and we want to talk about you formal, then we can say
¿Usted ve el potencial? ¿Usted ve el potencial?
which of course means do you see the potential? So él ve, ella ve, or usted ve. Alright, the next conjugation, which is we see.
Nosotros vemos. Nosotras vemos.
So we see the car in Spanish is
Nosotros el coche.
we see the car.
Nosotros vemos el coche. Nosotros vemos el coche.
Or
Nosotras vemos el coche. Nosotras vemos el coche.
we see the car if we are talking about a group of all feminine people. Alright, and then if we are in Spain, we also use vosotros or vosotras. So you see is
Vosotros veis. Vosotras veis.
and it's important here to note that there's no tilde on the I, so veis without a tilde. You see. So for example, in the example sentence that we have here, do you see the truth? This would become,
Vosotros, la verdad.
do you see the truth?
Vosotros veis la verdad. Vosotros veis la verdad.
Or of course,
Vosotras veis la verdad. Vosotras veis la verdad.
which also means do you see the truth? Alright, let's move on to the next conjugation, which is ustedes, which is the you that's being used in Latin America mostly, or in Spain as a formal way of saying you. So the conjugation for ustedes is ven. So you see, ustedes ven.
Ustedes ven. Ustedes ven.
So you see the importance,
Ustedes, la importancia. Ustedes ven la importancia. Ustedes ven la importancia.
you see the importance. So ustedes ven. And then of course we have the last conjugation, which is vesi, which is ellos or ellas ven. So it's the same conjugation as ustedes, which is also ven. So ellos, ellas ven.
Ellos ven. Ellas ven.
So they see the painting in Spanish is
Ellos, el cuadro.
which of course becomes
Ellos ven el cuadro. Ellos ven el cuadro.
Or, of course, if we were talking about a group of all females, then we say ellas ven. And instead of saying el cuadro to refer to the painting, we can also say la pintura, which also means the painting. So ellas ven la pintura, they see the painting, or ellas ven el cuadro, they see the painting.
Ellas ven la pintura. Ellas ven la pintura.
Alright, and as always, here we have an overview of all the different conjugations for the verb ver, to see in Spanish. Now, as you can see, the verb ver is a bit irregular here as well. Everything starts with the stem, which is only the V, and as you can see in the I form, it's a bit irregular, where we say veil instead of vo, for example. So that's the only irregularity in this verb. Alright, and then as always, I created some practice sentences so that you can practice with these different conjugations. So if you want to practice, make sure to pause the video right now and press resume once you're ready. Alright, and here are the correct answers. Alright, and that's it for this lesson, in which we learned the 7th verb of this course, which is the verb ver, which means to see in English. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know, and make sure to download the PDF reference sheet of today's lesson also. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next lesson. Adios.